With just 2 weeks to go until the Party Poker Mosconi Cup, we know the lineups, and we've got Karl Boyes, our resident pro, here to get a little bit of reaction to, first of all, the news last week that Justin Bergman was the 5th player on Team USA. He joined Shane Van Boening, Skylar Woodward, Tyler Steyer and Billy Thorpe. That was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was a surprise for myself as well. I was out walking the dog, I think, and there I seen it on social media. I thought, wow, Johan, you sneaky little devil there, putting Bergman in. But, you know, as a former player on the tour, we all know how good Justin Bergman is, and he's probably not done himself, you know, much justice over the years, you know, trying to get in team, and he seems the type of character where he doesn't fly to all the events like the others, but there's no doubt about it, that's a huge name for Team USA.
You've literally found yourself in Bergman's boat in the past. Was it 2015? You looked down and out, you weren't going to be in the team, and then you've taken yourself to Virginia, had a great run there, and you're on the team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be delighted, isn't it? There's not long left to go for the Mosconi Cup now, and you know, he's put such a good run at the International Open, and I think it's not just about that. Johan knows how good he is, and no disrespect to Corey and Max, but you know, he is sort of levels above them too, to be fair, and all the players on the tour sort of know that. And I just before sort of he got announced, I kind of have it as an even match, but I just think because of Bergman now, I just fancy USA slight favourites on paper.
You've played against Bergman a couple of times at the Mosconi Cup. What's he like? What's he going to bring to this team?
Yeah, I mean, there's a sort of saying in America where a lot of people think he's the best player in America after the break. So obviously Shane's got such a good break. Apparently Bergman's break's not, you know, his strongest tool, but what we mean by that is after the break where the push-out's concerned and the knowledge of 9-ball pool, a lot of people say he's the best player, and I just think now, you know, very good team.
And the other 4 guys as well, all Mosconi Cup winners, of course, and they all seem to have developed since that. Shane's rocketed up the World Pool rankings. We've seen Tyler Steyer go and win the Kremlin Cup. Billy Thorpe had a great Derby City. They've all had great years.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it sort of looked like Corey would probably get the spot and it would be the same team. Obviously, Bergman's picked him. You know, Johan wants to win the Cup at the end of the day, and you know, he's well within his rights to pick Justin, and you just feel like the team's even stronger than last year. And you know, at the end of the day, it's a huge event in the world of pool. It's our biggest event. It's a showcase. So in some ways, it's a bit like an exhibition, or it was certainly built up to be an exhibition. But now it's the focal point of being a pool player. Really, you want to play in the Mosconi Cup, and you know, Johan just wants to win it at the end of the day. So you know, I don't blame him for that move, and you know, good luck to him.
You think Bergman's inclusion makes Team USA slight favourites? Why is that?
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, as a player who knows the players and knows what goes on at tours and events and stuff like that, I just think Corey, you know, he's played in it a lot, but he's not sort of one of the top players on the tour. He can go missing on some events and stuff like that. Max has never played in the event, so if he'd have got the spot, he was going in there as a complete rookie, which, you know, you can be a rookie and have a great event. I'm not saying you can't, but Bergman's been in it before. He's got the experience. He's one of the top players in America, and that's you know, it's a real good team.
So let's chat Team Europe. They've got their work out to win that title back. We know now the 3 players who qualified. Of course, Joshua Filler. We knew that in the summer.
Yep.
He's been joined by Alex Kazakis and Clenty Catchy, both players who'll be wounded from last year's defeat.
Yeah, and you know, they were rookies last year. They didn't play horrendous, of course, but you know, they just looked a bit. Team Europe started off too slow, and it all looked a bit. We didn't know what was going on, type thing. And my worry for Team Europe is Kazakis and Catchy. They've played in one and lost one.
There was something that stuck with me when I spoke to Clenty when he got in the team. He said he admitted the first couple of days in London he really struggled. He struggled to adapt to the situation, to the tournament. But he did settle in towards the end of the tournament. If he can hit the ground running this year...
Yeah, he did, and I think that's fair for anybody. I mean, if you've, as a pool player, used to playing in smoky pool rooms and hotels with like one man and his dog watching, you know what I mean? You're not used to 3,000 people all screaming at you, so it is nerve-wracking, you know. You're just not used to that environment. So I expect him to come back this year a lot stronger, but you just never know how it's going to go. They've only played in one.
And Kazakis could be something of a comeback kid, could be a bit of a Cinderella story. Obviously, he was watching in his seat as Shane Van Boening hit the winning shot. He then lost in the final of the World Pool Masters when he looked set to win it. Didn't look like he was going to get on the team this year, and then everything fell for him with other players getting knocked out at that last Euro Tour. He went all the way to the final, got in the team. He's going to be really motivated, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's gone to the very last event, a bit like, you know, what you're saying, what I managed to do, but I sort of didn't know. He knew what he had to do, so he showed a lot of heart there, do you know what I mean? But like I say, you're playing in a hotel, there's 20 tables, the pressure's not really the same as when you walk out to a proper built arena and, you know, everyone's having a beer and screaming and, you know, shouting and singing, and it is scary. So they're the big things what I'm looking at this year, and I just put USA now slight favourites on paper.
But you can see what it meant to Kazakh. If you've not seen that match, the semi-final of that Euro Tour, when he hits the winning shot, he knows in the Mosconi Cup, that's as big a celebration as I've seen from any player at any tournament. It really meant a lot to him. Let's talk about the two wild cards. Always lots of debate about the European wild cards. There's probably a dozen players you could choose. Captain Schmatt's gone for Niels Fine and Jason Shaw. Mosconi Cup experience there.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt, if I was captain, first man on the sheet would be Jason Shaw. There seems to be a lot of players kind of come and gone from European pool. You know, Daz has disappeared, I've disappeared. Ralph's always hovering around. Mika obviously live in America and stuff like that. So at the moment, he's the main man for Europe without a doubt, and he's such a fearless potter, a bit like Filler, but he doesn't really miss balls. You know what I mean? He might play the odd mistake, positional shot and things like that, but he's so confident. He works so hard on his game. So for me, he had to be on the team. Little surprise personally with Niels. That might sound crazy because he's played in so many Mosconi Cups. But for me last year, I thought Albin was unbelievable. I thought he was the best player for Team Europe last year. And I just thought with Albin and Jason, Youngblood, that would have been my pick. But, you know, Niels, I fully understand why he's picked him. So, but I don't know, it's got that feel of the same team for me. That's what I worry about.
But they did push USA very close. It was 11-9, and like you said earlier, they weren't playing at their best. It's all set this year to be a very, very close Mosconi Cup again, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right what you're saying. As you said before, they started off very slow, didn't they? And if they can just get out the blocks, maybe play it a bit different. I know Niels has always gone on first singles. Maybe Marcus needs to look at that and address that and tweak the play situation up a bit. Maybe put Jason on first, because day one you want to have a lead, don't you? That was crucial for Europe. All them years of dominance, we always led on day one.
Well, Karl, thank you very much for your thoughts. We're off to Las Vegas next week. We've got a full week of Party Poker Mosconi Cup build-up for you. So make sure you're following our YouTube, Instagram and Facebook accounts and don't miss a thing.